What's good then, YouTube? Hope we're all doing very well. Welcome back to another custom tactics video here on the channel for FC24. It's been a little while. You might be taking a look at the team and thinking it's a little bit outdated, bar the little Karachuri that we have in our left back. I'm wondering why is that? I'm going to tell you why. If you are just here for the tactics, you don't care about me and what's been going on, then there's a timestamp up above in the middle of the screen. You can go to that and that'll take you straight to the tactics. All right. So we've been off for about just over a month now. Essentially, me and my wife of 13 years have had our first child. I was born on the 20th of January, a little baby boy, which obviously very, very blessed to have. Both baby and mom are doing well, and we're doing pretty good as well. We're back. We're here on FC24. So that's kind of where I've been, you know, in the build-up and post and all that sort of stuff, and the reason why I haven't been playing and producing as much content and all that sort of jazz. So thank you to everyone that has kind of left their kind words and wishes and all that sort of stuff. It is greatly appreciated, and yeah, I really do thank you all for that. So because I've not been playing for a little while, I obviously came back to the game and was like, what's going on? You know, anything changed? How does it all feel? What sort of tactics should I be running? How does the game want to play out for me? So I've been using one particular setup which has been working for me, and it seems like it's working for quite a lot of other people as well, because it's still a very solid setup. So before we jump into that, Karachuri, I packed her, which was very nice, literally before Team of the Year ended, which was a little bit of a bonus for myself. I'm gonna be honest, she's actually unbelievable with this whip pass plus. Now normally I don't like the whip pass playstyle because I look for a lot of L1 squares, LBX on Xbox, to basically, like, you know, play it lofted to the back post, and the whip pass kind of ruins this slightly because it's, you know, a more of a whip sort of cross. But because I don't have a big player in this team, I'm not really looking for, you know, the Lukaku, the Giroux that I would normally have. It then means that I'm actually going for crosses where there's a gap between the goalkeeper and the defense, and we're playing it into that gap for the attacker to get onto, and they work really well. So let's go ahead and jump into our custom tactics. What are we running today? Well, first of all, it is the 4-3-2-1, and I know you're going, Al, come on, well, you know, you're back and it's the 4-3-2-1. Look, it works, all right? It's a good formation, it's solid, and that's the reason why I'm running it and why so many other people still run it as well. Now, the defensive style, if you're on new gen and old gen, we will talk to you about both the differences there. Defensive style, we go balanced. I kind of say all the time how the press on heavy touch and press on possession loss, I think, is a luxury for more so when you are maybe chasing a game. You know, if you're 2-1 down in the 60th minute and you want to change to one of them, fine. Constant pressure, yes, you can change to it, but I'd be looking, if you were looking to have a more aggressive setup to constant press, I'd use a different formation. So we don't want to touch that. And then drop back, we don't want any of that. Keep that out of here. So balance is what we go to, all right? Width 44. Now, the reason why I don't go massively wide width is because essentially it makes the gap between your fullback and your centre back and centre back and centre back just bigger and larger, right? And at times that can be good when you're in the isolated battle, but as a whole, we want to be tucked in ever so slightly and trying to use our fullbacks narrow and then go out wide, obviously, as and when the byline drive is sort of there. Now, for old gen users, I currently run 55 depth, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second on why. If you are on old gen, the game is a little bit more open. I say this in every tactic video, so I'd probably recommend around 40 to 45 depth, only because you can then try and compact the midfield and defense a little bit more. It kind of does that already for you on new gen, so that's one thing to think about. As I always say with depth, though, remember, it doesn't matter what your depth is set when you have the ball. When you have the ball, your team will always sit on the halfway line, your defenders, right? So whether you're on 100 or 0 depth, it doesn't matter. Depth is only relevant to when you don't have the ball and the opponent starts to transition into your half. And it's essentially how quick does your defense go and sit deep, or do they try and maintain their line? Now, I don't go the 71 depth anymore to have that automatic offside trap, because I just don't feel the need for it right now. The reason why is that I'm kind of manually controlling my defense and moving up when they are. However, if I play against someone that I feel is essentially pushing my defense back and they're getting a lot of room in the middle to look for Travellas, then I would go to 71 depth to get that automatic offside trap. So do bear that in mind as well. We do automatically have the automatic AI press as well. Remember, they introduced that into FC24. It's not as strong as it was at the start of the game, but it is still relevant when we're on 45 depth or above. Build up play and chance creation is balanced and direct passing. It is literally the staple for me and my gameplay and what I've been running. Again, because the 4-3-2-1 and the way we play it is we want a kind of neutral build up to look to use our fullback on the overlap, which I'll talk to you about when we get into the instructions. I don't want slow build up. That's too slow. Fast build up is too quick. That gets your players moving up the pitch in such a quick way that if you lose the ball, you're in trouble. And then long ball is to say, let's put the ball in behind. Let's go over the top. Let's play into the wings. And I don't want to do that just yet. Balance gives you a little bit of everything. And that is crucial. I will say with build up play and balance, one of the things that you really want to try and get into your game if you don't have it already is the ability to trigger runners. If you tap your L1 or LB button while pointing your left stick at a player, that will send them on a run. They will then just go and run all the way into space, and that is a real big part. I've done plenty of videos on how to use that and how to do that on the channel, so make sure you check them out. Chance creation is direct passing. What is this essentially going to do? As we move into that final third, that's going to push your attackers deep into the opponent's box, which is going to give you a bit of room in between their midfield and their defense. And you're going to operate in this pocket of space. So then look for travellas, look for finesses, look for you to take the player on, the defender, with a step over or reverse elastico, just to get any sort of angle to shoot. That is what we want the direct passing to do. And then width, we do go 40. This just keeps it a little bit more narrow. You don't want it too wide in this 4-3-2-1. It does set up a little bit differently, which I'll talk about in a second. But we don't want to be too wide, which is why we go for 40 width. And then 5 players in box. 5 players in box basically means that if there is room for people to get into the box, they will. But when those 5 players are in there, that if we then have more of an opportunity, let's say if you, I don't know, had a big man on the edge of the box like Lukaku, if the box is already occupied with players in the 18-yard box, then they won't go and overload that. They won't override it. Whereas if you were on the full, then just every player would get in the box if they can. 1 corners and 1 free kicks for our set pieces. That's what I've always ran. I've done the corner routine, which I absolutely love. It still works for me, and it's what I tend to use. Now for our striker, we go getting behind and stay forward. Same for our right forward as well. Our left forward is essentially going to move into left mid when we defend. So it defends in a 4-4-2. But when we attack, it attacks in a 4-3-2-1. To do that, we have our left forward on comeback on defense. Why do we do that? It makes it 2 banks of 4. It's a little bit more difficult to break down, and that's how I like it. For our left centre mid, we have them on cover wing, our right centre mid on cover centre, and then our central centre mid on stay back while attacking cover centre. One of the things that you're going to find is that these two swap around, the centre mid and the right centre mid. So I actually put the player that I want to be centre in right centre mid. Bit of a weird one. Don't really know why it does that, but it does. This is the key part to this formation. The left back is on join the attack and overlap. When you win the ball in defence, you kind of want to go out to the right hand side. You kind of want to allow your left back to push up the pitch and then look for the big switch ball. Then you can look for crosses, you can look to drive the byline, look to play it into the middle, kind of do as you please. And then your right back is on stay back while attacking, and no changes for any of them 3. You can do the same thing on the right hand side. If you want your right back getting forward instead, that's not a problem. Just flip these tactics around and that will do exactly that for you. So those are the tactics I've been using to come back kind of, over the last few days and what I've been enjoying. I'll get some more game time in me. I'll see if there's anything else that I'm liking and that I'm wanting to introduce to you guys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.